Okay, on number 6 you're going to multiply. Since there's no plus or minus signs in here, I can rearrange this any way I want. So I'm going to put all the numbers together. So negative 2 times 5 times negative 3. Then alphabetically I'm going to put the letters. So then I've got a p times a p squared. And then I'm going to do all the q's. So q to the third power times q to the second power times q to the fourth power. So negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. Negative 10 times negative 3 is a positive 30. And then for the exponents, when you multiply like bases, you add exponents. That's going to be p to the 1 plus 2. And when I multiply all those q's together, I add up 3 plus 2 plus 4. So when I simplify this, I end up with a positive 30, p to the third power, q to the ninth power. So for number 8, you have to distribute your 3ab. So when I go to distribute that, that means I'm going to do 3ab times 2a squared. I'm also going to do 3ab times 3b cubed. So I can put the numbers together, 3 times 2. I can add the exponents on the a's, which is going to be 1 plus 2, and then I have a b. Plus, I can do 3 times 3. Then I like to go alphabetically, so I've got an a. And on the b's, I can add 1 plus 3. So when I simplify, I'm going to get 6 a cubed b plus 9 ab to the fourth. And those are not like terms, so I can't add 6 and 9 because the variables and the exponents do not match perfectly on each term. Okay, for number 18, I could choose to FOIL. I'm going to do the box on this one just to be different. So I'm going to have m squared and a negative 2mn. And that's going to be multiplied by 3mn times n squared. So there's really a 1 in front of that m squared. So 3 times 1 is 3. M times m squared is m cubed. And then I have an n. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. M times m is m squared. N times n is n squared. Then there's really a 1 in front of that n, so 1 times 1 is 1. And then alphabetically, I'm going to put m squared first and then n squared. And then negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. I'm going to have an m, and then I can do n squared times n and get n cubed. So then I have like terms with the m squareds, n squareds. So my final answer is going to be 3m cubed n. Different signs, so I'm going to subtract. So 6 minus 1 is 5, and 6 is bigger, so it's going to be negative 5. And remember, when you add, exponents do not change. And now my final answer has none of the same letters with the same exact exponents. Okay, for 22, I'm going to do the box as well. So I'm going to have across the top 2x cubed, a negative x squared, and a positive 1. And then down the side, I'm going to have a negative 4x and a positive 6. And then remember, when you do the box, it's a multiplication box. So you multiply to get all the answers in the box. So negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. X to the first times x cubed, add 1 plus 3, get x to the fourth. There's really a 1 in front of that negative x squared. So that's a negative 4. So negative 4 times negative 1 is a positive 4. And then x to the first times x squared, 1 plus 2 is 3. Then negative 4x times positive 1 is negative 4x. 6 times 2, that's going to be 12x cubed. 6 times negative 1 is negative 6x squared. And positive 6 times positive 1 is positive 6. So I only have one exponent that has a fourth power. So I'm going to start off with negative 8x to the fourth. But I can add 12x cubed and 4x cubed and get 16x cubed. Because remember, when you add, exponents don't change. There's nothing to add to the squared, nothing to add to the negative 4x, and nothing to add to the 6. So 1/4 p cubed plus 2/3 p cubed. Since they each have a p cubed, that means I can add 1/4 plus 2/3. And then just take my answer and multiply it by p cubed. So common denominator between 4 and 3 is 12. So 4 times 3 is 12, so 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12, so 2 times 4 is 8. So when I add those together, I get 11/12 p to the third power. For number 22, I have a 1x squared plus a 2x squared. So 1 plus 2 is 3. When you add, exponents don't change. I have a 1x plus a 3x. 1 plus 3 is 4, and exponents don't change. For number 30, since you are subtracting, that's like distributing a -1. So I would rewrite this problem as 3x squared minus x. The -1 times x squared is -1x squared. -1 times 3x is -3x. And -1 times -1x. -1 times -1 is +1x. So 3x squared minus 1x squared is 2x squared. -x and -3x, same signs, add, so that's going to be -4x. Plus 1x, so I'm actually going to have 2x squared minus 3x, because different signs subtract.